Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Keydex. This is their part number EN400-GATEBOX. I just have that written in there so that on the shelf we can identify it. You'd never see that once the strike was installed. But a gate box, and I'll tell you what it's used for right after we take some dimensional properties. Overall height, about 5 inch. Overall width, about 2 5/16. The thickness, probably the most important component, 1 3/4. The preparation for the face of the strike, just to assure you of what that is. Looks like it's about 3 3/8 or so. The width of that cutout on the face looks like it's about 1 11/16. Weighs about 0.87 pound and is made of steel. Let's talk about where exactly you're going to use this and why you might be looking at it. Well, it's very likely that you already know why you're looking at this item. But if you're not sure, the way that it can be used and the way that it's typically used is when you need to install something, a piece of hardware, and I don't mean only the EN400 strike, which I happen to have one here, and I'll show you how that fits in just a moment. You need to fit a lock, a strike, locks and strikes, nothing else comes to mind actually, into a structure that's not intended to receive that. So very typically you'll have, whether it be in any town USA, you're going to be building a fence, a wrought iron gate, you're building a custom door, you're doing something that needs to incorporate locking hardware. And if you're fabricating the gate, you can certainly fabricate the gate box. But the reason that you shouldn't, in my opinion, and in everyone else's who buys these, is that you can't build this as cheaply and as, quite frankly, perfectly in terms of size for what you want to do compared to what you can pay for it. So that's why you would buy this. It's simple in its design and construction and assembly and shipping it to you. But for you to start flat-footed to build this is why you would just order it. So in this sort of application, this client, with this strike and this strike box, and then a weldable gate box for the lock. Actually, no, he didn't need the weldable gate box because that was for a custom cedar planked wood door that they built. They were able to install the grade 1 Yale knob lock into it. But the gate structure needed to have the electric strike installed, and they were literally installing this Trine electric strike. And the reason we went with this is because it's rated for an exterior application, very key. It's rated for an exterior application for his access control. He can buzz people in from the inside. He can come up with his key code, card, fob, whatever he wants. Whatever switch is going to control that electric strike, you need something to stuff it into, and this needs to get attached to the greater structure of what's being built. The bottom line is it's just cheaper to buy something pre-made, ideal. You can weld it into your structure. It's good to go. This is also available in aluminum here in Southwest Florida. We don't see gate boxes or boxes, weldable gate boxes for strikes or locks in steel as much as we certainly will for aluminum. Many of the items that this manufacturer makes are also available in a stainless steel base, and Trine doesn't make this. Trine offers this through their catalog because it perfectly complements their strike. It's made for their strike. They've obviously have a relationship with this manufacturer to make these. So having a background in, maybe not a background in welding, but understanding the welding process, the press brake process, a CNC turret process, or a shear, or however they're cutting this, you're going to have pieces of metal that are going to be punched or sheared to size. Then you're going to have a press brake that's going to make all these little bends, and here there's a total of 4 components. There are the 2 end clips, here and here. There's this component, and then there's this component. and they basically assemble it, clamp it. I'm sure they just vice clamp it all together and then simply weld it. You can see, and it's spot welding is what it is. You can see evidence of the spot welds everywhere. Okay, and that's how this is put together. The key is, how big is this piece? You know, you don't want to mess around having to make that. The amount of time it would take for you to prep a steel jam post in a wrought iron, aluminum, whatever the case is, this is done. This is welding, you're finished. The only thing you have to do is to make sure that your vertical height is correct, and obviously where it's going to be placed in the structure is correct. Let's switch to the screen view and let's take a closer look at some supporting documentation. If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it. Okay, here's the item that we are looking at, the EN400-GATEBOX. Not much to see here, so let's take a look at some photographs that we have. There's the box. And then just different perspectives. This is what you would see in elevation from the secured side of the opening. Looking down into the throat of it. The back side, yeah, sure, there's some surface corrosion that's there. This gate box could have been sitting on a shelf for years at this point. You're obviously going to lightly sand and then prime coat that or paint it into the rest of the structure. That's going to be fairly typical. Let's also take a look at, that's the back side, a little bit of a weld dab there. They can't, that's certainly not, that does not appear to be spot welded. Yeah, a little bit of welding there. The top side or the bottom side, depending on the hand. The inside of that. Showing you what it looks like when the strike's installed. That's pretty neat. That's tight. That looks nice. Well made. Very well made. In fact, it fits in tightly, like as in securely. Now this is that EN400 strike in the sense, what I mean to say is that that's a handed strike. Here's an accessories cut sheet where they refer to the gate box for the EN400 RP rim panic. This could be for locks or for panics, depending on the arrangement of the strike. Dimensional properties. They don't tell us here what the gauge is of the steel. Let's take a look. Bear with me, I'm pulling up to see what data I have. Yeah, I have it here. 14 gauge is what that is. That is 14 gauge. 14 gauge cold rolled steel. All of the dimensions here. You can see all that. So not too much in addition to say about that. Now, there's a link below this video, as seen here, to the manufacturer's page. And from here, you click on that, you can pull up not only all of the Trine products we sell by means of this horizontal navigation as seen here, but also a link to the manufacturer's website as seen here, but also a link to the full product catalog. I would definitely recommend that you take a look at their entire product line. I imagine what might just be easiest is to hop into their website, because it's all here. EN400. Their search engine is definitely Web 1.0 era, but nonetheless, it works. You'll get to it. I searched for EN400. I got to the page. This is where you'll be able to drill into all of the individual items in this the EN400 series. Okay. Now, where I shoehorn this in all the time is because of this. It's rated for an exterior application. Electricity and rain don't mix. This works. I've had this installed in lots of applications over a handful of years, and not one time has someone called and said it failed. Not once. The Trine line is known for grade 1 strikes like the EN400, but it's also known for light-duty commercial or residential strikes. Very common strike that you're going to see is this 1001 typical wood frame. Here's where you're going to see this very inexpensive strike all the time. Intercom, 3-flat, light gauge, what we'd call a trooper door, just a metal-clad wood door like a 24, 28 gauge door. wood core, foam core, wood jamb, kerfed in weather stripping. This is the buzzer that when you come up to the 3 flat and you're trying to get to unit 2 to see your friend, this is it. This is what's used. I've got customers that they're landlords, and they would buy these over and over and over again. They just keep buying them. You know, they fail. They're generally used in applications where you really need a more expensive strike, but this is so inexpensive that these folks would rather just continue to replace them over time. Light commercial duty strikes here. What I'm specifically looking for is this, the 007. Pretty typical for a hollow metal frame with a 1/2 inch projection on the latch is what that would be. An inexpensive strike for an electric strike for a hollow metal frame. Let's wrap up this video on camera. If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it. I was putting it in upside down. What I mean, it's upside down, doesn't matter. You've got your wire pack. You've got a bird's mouth here. You've got one here. I was trying to put it in where the bird's mouth wasn't. When I flipped it over, it gave room for the wire run to go through. Obviously, you're going to install this whatever application you have, but you'll notice the keeper's fail safe, so to speak. But over here, it's fail secure. Well, what do you want? Fail safe or fail secure? Well, it shouldn't depend on the luck of what hand you're installing. These strikes are best ordered handed because the mechanism inside of here, I'm holding it to the microphone so you can hear that. The mechanism that renders it fail safe or fail secure is something that it's easy to reverse when you know the way to do it. But you don't want to do it. I've actually had a customer ship one of these to me just because I couldn't get it. And I've got a video of me reversing this. It's not easy until you know the trick. It's not a trick, it's just until you know the way to do it. So be sure to order the strikes the hand that you need. And that's what it looks like. Now, other reasons to consider Trine beyond the fact that they just have what you can use. Number one, beyond that, is going to be exceptional technical support. 100% of the time that I call Trine, I get a voicemail in tech support. 100% of the time. 100% of the time, I get a call back quickly. 10 minutes, 30 minutes, the same day or the next morning. There's a gentleman there with a heavy accent, and he is extremely helpful, and has been every time. In fact, there was someone on YouTube making less than positive commentary on the Trine product line, their people. I'm not sure what it was, but I've been selling Trine for over 3 decades, and I've never once had that sort of encounter. That level of expertise under their belt and the way that they provide that tech support in their bedside manner, it only makes me wish I had more opportunities to sell the Trine electric strike line. They're an independent company, and the only thing that might be working against them is that they're just not owned by a multinational, multi-billion-dollar corporation that I'm aware of that can push their product out in all possible directions. I love the product line. I endorse it, and I would encourage you to use it before other strike lines that are owned by multinational, multi-billion-dollar corporations. And it's simply because of the service they provide, the tech support they provide, the quality of the product, and the fact that I have never had a bad experience with their people or their product line. I got a great track record. Consider them. Good quality stuff. This is about a gate box, but if you're buying a Trine EN400-GATEBOX, you're sticking a Trine strike into it most likely. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.